important for both these teams to try and secure this victory. We are going to have a quick disconnection here from Takaya. Seems like he's having maybe some lag issues. He'll be back any moment, I'm sure. And they are indeed. Surprise, surprise, some lag issues coming out here for Alpha.
He disconnected.
He disconnected indeed. Very good job. My main curiosity still stands with this. There you go. There it is. My curiosity stands with this this Venom answer. Like I just
yeah.
You know, people are gonna be like, well, Mike, you said Pos 3 Venom was good last game.
Yeah, Mike, you said it was good.
Well, it was good. Yeah. It was good, John. They messed up.
Until it wasn't?
No, it was good. I don't think it was Dutro's fault they lost that game. I'm looking at you, Leonidas. I'm looking at you.
to be fair, I think, you know, like Venomancer is still one of those things that just feels weird past the laning stage. I think it still has this really sharp timer. It's again, it can carry auras, but Crimson Guard is probably one of the most important auras, and that's awful in Venomancer, just because he really doesn't have too much strength. I was going to ask this. Do you happen to know if Undying goes Crimson, with the way Crimson calculates based on your strength, if you stack the Ks, does that mean you have a higher barrier? Or is it calculating base strength?
I love how you're asking me all these questions when you're meant to be the analyst. I don't know the answer to that. My goodness.
The caster strength value. Okay, so theoretically, Undying is the best Crimson Guard carrier. Or consequently, also the worst if he doesn't get too much decays off in the middle of a fight. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. I'm sure it does count. Seems like it should count based off the description of the item. Stominant gonna rush in, not able to pick up the bounty. Takaya was there ready to go. 2 for 2 bounty trade, pretty even start here between these two teams. Naturally, we will be beginning with the mid lane where you will have Dendi on the Storm against Steel on the Ember. This is one of those outplay matchups that we always kind of talk about. Like, yes, the Ember feels like a counter towards the Storm in most games, but that's only once you really have the chains off. For now, during the laning stage, I think Dendi should still have an okay time.
Yeah, shouldn't be zoned out too hard. I think the real key timing for the Ember here is like your Orb of Corrosion. At that point, you can really run down the Storm. You also have to manage your Flame Guard well. Don't walk up to the Remnants. Don't try to dodge out the overload attacks as best as you can. And if you can maintain that Flame Guard, then you have pretty decent just overall harass onto Dendi. As we do get another pause. Lag is the call. Where's my voice line? No voice line. Fine. Whatever, man.
Unlucky.
I didn't need it.
I mean, it's usually Funnick's the one that's spamming the voice line you're thinking of, John. Funnick kind of dropping the ball here, sadly.
Yeah, Funnick doesn't spam the SMG one, right? That's just Kasane.
That's Kasane.
Yeah, madman.
I mean, it is quite pleasing to the ear. I think that's JJ Lin singing the song, right? I imagine.
I honestly can't tell you because it sounded a lot more feminine, and I'm not sure how JJ Lin sounds. To be fair.
What do you mean feminine?
It sounded pretty high pitched, like tonal wise. It sounded really, really high pitched.
Oh yes.
Like, try humming along to it, Mike. Give us a taste of
no, I'm not gonna hum along to it. No, I'm not gonna do that. But it's I understand what you're trying to say. You know, I don't think feminine was the right word for that. You know, it's just sounds like an R&B song almost, right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like an R&B song. It's right. Just, I know how you want me to describe the voice. High pitched. It's not necessarily high octave. Yeah, okay. It's a higher octave reading of the notes. So
who cares?
It's not the most common vocal range for. I don't know. It does. I don't think that's JJ Lin. I'm pretty sure I've heard JJ Lin in Singapore, but I don't know. Maybe JJ Lin in Malaysia is different. Food's different for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about this mid matchup, but nevertheless, I mean, we kind of already went over it. Dendi should still have a decent time. Bottom lane, Takai is going to be there as the Undying. Argus going to be there as the TB against Funnick and Stominant. For now, I think, like I mentioned, I think Takai should be able to do a pretty damn good job of just keeping Funnick at bay with these decay spam. Stominant with the Illuminate going to try and do damage, but it's kind of the thing against Undying. Like, he gets 2 stacks of decay. Illuminate just feels like it does no damage. And ultimately, Takaya, as long as he keeps up in terms of his mana, I think Funnick is going to struggle quite a bit.
Yeah, it's not going to be the most straightforward. At the least down the line, you'll have like your Chakra plus Doom.
Uh-oh.
So you can kind of just keep devouring.
Funnick's dead. Yeah. It's just the thing, when you get level 2 on Undying and you've already got 2-3 stacks of decay, there's just no way to escape it. Drops the Tombstone, easiest kill of his life. Meanwhile, top lane, low dying. Frostbite is there. Braxy trying for the kill, he's going to find it just before he dies. So a nice pickup for him. At least Stonebank is able to trade. Does pick up a kill for himself on the position 1 Wind Ranger. But kills happening all across the map already.
Some laning aggression, which you do want to see from Alpha. Again, they drafted this Venomancer, so you expect them to try to play faster in their lanes and get as much as they can out of the lanes as possible. You are having still a decent time for Dendi down mid, and a slight advantage in the CS. 3 creeps above, a good position to just get the earlier levels, perhaps work his way towards that 6 a little bit faster if things maintain. I think the key thing for Alpha overall is just this lane for Argus.
Top lane, low dying. Gonna get jumped. Last off was there. Problem is, Blessed Kid is dropping pretty low here on the Veno. Stonebank looking like he wants to try and chase, but the power shot doesn't land. Stonebank, I mean, high fives up from Braxy, but he's the one falling a bit too low. He's gonna Fairy Fire up, but he's taking the full creep wave. Oh, Stonebank's gonna find a double. And in the end, Braxy's high five way too early. Not respecting the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, 1 run off cooldown again. And you don't do damage. Your cooldowns on your bombs just a little bit too long for you to find that opening. No TP as well for Braxy, so he has to walk back into the lane, providing an opening for Bait to just feel comfy there on the solo 1v1. A rather interesting back and forth already. Tree to tree early on. Slight advantage for Bait. And for the side of Alpha, honestly, your bot lane's going fine. Your mid matchup is all right. But the top lane is the concerning one for me, Mike. You want the Venomancer to dominate the lane. You don't want him to trade kills. Even trading kills feels awful for this hero still. So that does mean the enemy laner is not really suppressed. He gets to gain back some of the XP. He gets to gain back some of the farm that you steal away from him by killing him off. I'm not sure if you really feel good about the top lane just yet here for Blessed Kid. You're still happy with Argus's lane. Terribly, it's still doing fine, but Venomancer, and it's such a weird niche hero. At least in this matchup, it doesn't really present its purpose, and we'll just have to see. It does look like we're just gonna see probably the Atos into Gleipnir here for Venom, which isn't too bad as a universal type, but just feels like you could always find a different hero to kind of go that route as a universal type, or just a range core.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see if, like, the Veno does pay off. Right now, it certainly doesn't feel like it is during the lanes, but maybe later on. At least Snowbank isn't farming the best. Like, he still found 21 CS. It's not the worst either. Pretty close, in fact, to the farm of Argus on the TB, who's going for a bit of a chase onto Funnick. Funnick's going to be just fine. Plenty of armor available with the Devour, but the thing is, he hasn't been able to find the most farm that's doing this game, and I mean, Argus practically has been free farming on the TB. Meanwhile, Takai is going to go for a chase onto Stominant. Can't really do much against the Coddle. Coddle just runs way too quick. 6-minute power rune. It's going to be a pretty big deal, as you do have a spirit versus spirit matchup. Bait already ready to just focus on getting both of them, though. Don't think Steel's going to be able to get away with either one, as top lane Stonebank did end up going down. Dendi in the meantime trying to fight for a power rune. It is going to go to Lowdyne anyway, and Dendi is completely out of mana, just being so aggressive to try and secure the power rune. Still barely able to zip away, though. It's going to be fine for now as Lowdown's going to be the next target. Sticky Bomb is going to land, so still can move in for the follow-up damage. The Frostbite again going to lock him down, but with the Sleight of Fist, he's going to have enough to secure at least a CM kill.
Finds himself a good set of pickoffs. Always kind of curious about when you drop the Remnant very close to the tier 1. I mean, it's a nice aggressive position, but it's also very exposed. They don't manage to punish it too much on bait. And again, you're kind of getting what you want down mid now. It was a little bit better for Dendi early on, but Steel is starting to find his pacing. He's got the Orb of Corrosion, which is the key timing. Now your Storm doesn't feel that durable at all. At least you have the 6.
Still a very close matchup here. Less than 1k advantage for Alphas. Top lane, Focus Fire committed here on Bleskid, and as a pos 3 Feno, there's not really much you can do about it. Actually ends up switching his item build as well. Just queues up the mech, so it looks like he's going for the Greaves build up on the Veno, which is pretty standard, but it just doesn't... Yeah, this is a game where you really doubt pos 3 Veno is going to have the impact you're looking for. And so far, that is kind of the case.
Not sure if even something like the pipe buildup will feel amazing. Granted, you've got a Storm and CM and a Coddle, so maybe not the worst thing in the world. But how fast you hit the Guardian Greaves. Pipe timing is going to be a little bit interesting here for Blessed Kid. Already a bit of an early jungle invasion coming out from Steel. Good read, taking care of some of this large camp stacks. Not the fastest clear, mind you, but it takes some of the resources away at the very least. Solo smoke out here. Nice grab from Braxy on the Arcane. And he did see that zip commitment, so really just rubbing it in onto Dendi. Damn, Braxy.
Yeah, why not? Again, it's a 1 game away from Alpha qualifying for the remainder of Div 1.
Qualifying.
I know, I've said it again, John. I tried to save myself.
No, I just find it amusing. I'm sorry for finding you amusing to be with, Mike.
Yeah,
I'll be a lot more bored now. Thank you.
You're the only one that finds me amusing, John. Most people just get very, very annoyed very quickly.
I'm qualifying for another day of life, Mike.
Shut up.
Perfectly acceptable usage in English parlance, I'm sure.
Top lane, Les Kid is qualifying for a respawn timer here, John, as he's going to drop. Braxy tried to jump in with the blast off to help out, but he could be in danger. He does have Argus behind him though, so Stomach just wants to get out. It's going to be fine. No real chance of him dying, though Still does come in, now revealing himself with that Sleight of Fist attempt. Bait, be able to successfully walk away with the life of the Venomancer, but now they need to find a way to defend this top tier 1 tower. So support duo they had should be able to do a decent job of doing so though, because you do have a Keeper of the Light. Illuminate spam should be more than enough to make sure this tier 1 doesn't go down too easily to Alpha. I say that, they are still going for the tier 1, but now without the creep wave, even with 5 heroes here, Alpha decide better of it. They get the hell out.
To play it safe, no need to really overcommit here on the side of Alpha. I'm a little bit curious that they've left Funnick alone to just play the bot. So the Doom has recovered fairly nicely, #1 in net worth as you'd expect. And he is rushing the Midas as well. And nothing to stop Funnick, nothing to punish that solo off lane. You know what? I feel like if you did a lane swap here in Alpha earlier on, placed Blessed Kid up against Doom, you might have been better off. Maybe after those 2 kills came out for the Terrorblade, but he at some point just tried to melt down.
Down to Kaya here on the Undying. Going to be a very easy pick-off for him on the Storm. Doesn't really have Stominant around to give him that mana he wants, but it doesn't really matter. He already got the kill. He'll be pretty happy with himself. Now 3k advantage for Bait, looking pretty strong in this game series number 1, I should say. All 3 cores from Bait sitting at the series number 2 is all the cores on the side of Bait sitting at the top of the net worth board, though Alpha aren't too far behind to be absolutely fair to them. Now looking at Dendi mid lane, you're going to be fine as no chains even came out from Steel, and even then it would have been a level 1 chain, so already long enough to lock him down. Bottom tier 1 tower in the meantime does end up going down. Top tier 1 remains standing as Stonebank just continues defending that top tier 1 tower. Overall, again, I think Beta are off to a pretty strong start here in this this game against Alpha.
Yeah, not too shabby. They've managed to ride through the tougher part of the laning phase that Alpha couldn't quite bring to full bear. They're getting space out for Funnick to just grow into this massive Doom with a Midas up. Octarine next. Looking just, again, play a farming game and just no punishment onto bait from Alpha. They're kind of playing this farming game as well.
Top lane, focus fire out. Blesskit just could not escape the wrath of Stonebank. And Stonebank takes a fair bit of damage though, so still can try to move in for a kill attempt, but doesn't really have many spells to throw out, nor does have the mana. So needs to get out of there. And I'll tell you, like, so far, this Veno, all he's been doing is giving more gold to Stonebank. Stonebank now 5-1-1, completely uncontested, and with the Maelstrom up, he has plenty of kill-off potential now. I mean, you can't really approach the guy by yourself anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit harder to try to put a lock onto Stonebank. I feel like this could be a viable Venomancer Halberd game after the Guardian Greaves. Just having a way of locking in, preventing the right-click damage from coming through is pretty damn big, and you don't really have any other core that wants to build a Halberd here. That job should fall onto Blessed Kid down the line. How far down the line, we'll have to see, as the timings are really starting to work themselves to Bait's favor at the least here.
Yeah, they are. Dendi mid lane, I mean, still again with the level 2 chains, but doesn't really have the backup he requires to try and deal with the storm. Dendi's not really their biggest issue anyway. Like, if anything, they've really got to find a way to deal with Stonebank at the moment. He's the big problem, and he's going to have a BKB rather soon as well on the Wind Ranger. Thing is, with the BKB up, you don't really have a way of dealing with him. Because as long as it's available and used up, it's pretty hard to actually do anything against this Wind Ranger throughout the BKB duration. Lowdyne, chains are there. TP going to be cancelled. Lowdyne will go down. Nice little pick up for Steel. Just a bit of a pick-me-up kill here for the Ember. Will allow him to get a little bit closer to the Maelstrom time.
Yeah, just a little bit of a snack in the form of a CM. A very, very delicate snack that just falls apart once you get a couple of sleight of fits in. But a very nutritious one for Ember nonetheless. Important to still hit those timings. Bait, again, they're kind of just sitting back, building up farm. Space for Funnick is always good. This is something that we know Funnick loves to do. Just play a lot of farmy off lanes. It's Dendi who kind of picks up the pace for the team. And Dendi is inching towards his Witchblade now, with the Falcon Blade up. So you're sent to hit that key item timing for the Storm, where he can have a lot more play, a lot more damage output, some mana to sustain as well. And overall, looking at the lineups, Bait doesn't mind taking it late. It's a little bit awkward into mid-game versus Terrorblade. I think that's the timing that is also pretty damn strong for Alpha once you can get some itemization to flow out here for Argus. They can do a lot more once the Terrorblade has at least a Manta up.
We'll jump in, steal. We get away. Have the Remnant ready just in case the jump was there from Dendi, but still level 1 Vortex as well, so the duration's not really anywhere near long enough to deal with an Ember Spirit. So both teams seem like they're more than happy to just take time to farm at the moment. They're not rushing for any big team fights, which I think it favors Alpha more because they're the ones that need the time to get that net worth going. Again, 6k behind right now is Alpha, and that's generally not the best of news. So they'll take some time to try and secure some core items up before they try to force a fight. Bait, on the other hand, like, you also don't mind just taking time to farm. You have a Doom Wind Ranger and a Storm. Like, the late game scaling of Bait is pretty damn fantastic. So absolutely no rush here. But they are going to just smoke up. 3 heroes running up towards the top lane. T1 tower going down. Stonebank, he's going to go for a shackle into the focus fire. Onto the TB is Dendi now going to zip right in, but the Sunder is going to be used on the Storm. It just may not matter though because they got the Doom off. Argus is down. Stonebank does also go down, so not the worst trade so far, but Dendi is just going absolutely ham. Unlimited mana here for the Storm. Takaya also going to drop. Funnick, though, is going to go down to steal. But Dendi will walk away with a triple kill on the Storm. It is going to be a 3 for 3 so far. But Storminen is being chased here on the Keeper of the Light, so he might be a 4th kill here for Alpha. So he is still trying to run. He'll take a Watcher away and actually gets out with the TP. Still stuck. Still's actually stuck. That's why he couldn't keep chasing. I was wondering where he was. I didn't even know that that little ditch existed.
Yeah, that's a strange one. I wish we could go into showcase view because I am so curious about the elevation in that one. It's yeah,
you can see
that's actually kind of sad. Okay, at least has the remnant, but that's a lot of time where he's literally doing nothing. That's the little timeout corner, Mike. That's where you should send. You know, that's my skewer target now. Thank you. I'll send all the heroes from the skewer.
I always appreciate the fact that like you have little areas like that people just don't think about. You know, it's like Ice Frog had to think about that little area before putting it there. That was definitely like a purposeful thing. It's cute. I like it.
I wonder if it is.
Oh, it's gotta be.
It's gotta be, but you never know. Like the triangle, the staircase triangle trap of death. I don't know if that was on purpose too. It just looks like a couple of prop pieces plopped in, and it creates a very bad negative space for you to be stuck in. That you can be stuck in. This map is... The new map certainly has some enchanting surprises. So enchanting that you can't move out of him.
I like it. I think it's great. Keep it the way it is, Ice Frog. That's what we needed. Dane's out, Lodine. Gonna get the classic CM experience. I say that. The Pavias up. He's actually taking through a lot of damage. Eventually, Arga should take him down and still will be the one to take the kills. Oh, they found Stonebank. He BKBs. He'll be able to run. Thankfully, Stonebank going to be pretty happy about the fact that he has that BKB early. Otherwise, that was a guaranteed kill on the Wind Ranger. For now, he is able to walk away from this scenario.
Manages to back off. First BKB charge committed, but not the biggest deal in the world, considering that staying alive at this point is more than acceptable for Bait, considering this pacing that their lineup is trying to get. The pressure is on Alpha to try to get something themselves, try to get something done. Get these timings up, start to connect with your Terrorblade, and utilize the big beefy Terrorblade once it does have the Scotty up in trying to siege and trying to take some team fights. So we'll see how long that takes. I think for now, it's going to be a little bit of a slowdown in the game. You find some pickoffs while you can, but for the most part, it is Farm Fiesta Part 2. And, you know, I mean, Funnick's already got the good old Octarine Midas. So the farming never ends, Mike.
That's pretty classic. Pretty classic, I think. Again, these are best of one tiebreakers, John. I think both teams will, like, play the absolute most conservative way possible. Here we go again to Kaya. We end up going down here. Lodine the one to actually take the kill on the CM. So happy days for the CM. Well, mid lane, bit of a group up here from Alpha. Steel and Bleskid both hanging around. No jump in from Dendi. Not going to try to rush this, but does want the power rune. He's trying to get lucky with it, and he will. Very lucky, in fact. Getting a regen rune from himself, you couldn't really ask for much more. So Steel's going to be a little bit annoyed about not finding that one himself. But now with the regen rune up, like, Bait may make the call to go for a big fight again. Because this is, you know, regen's obviously quite huge for a Storm Spirit in the middle of a team fight. They have grouped up again, but it doesn't seem like they've popped a smoke, nor do they have one. Lodine's actually the one holding the smoke, and he's farming top lane.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to get aggressive, but the lineup of Bait does feel like it really doesn't mind just farming as well. So if you have to make a choice, farming is safer as long as you're not getting ganked. And as you said, Mike, more conservative games in some of these best of ones, no massive risks. Taking a fight is a risk. This is optimal, safe play, Mike.
Risks sometimes are good, sometimes aren't.
Like if you want to watch a good movie.
Yes.
You don't risk it by going to a no-name director. You watch Oppenheimer by Christopher Nolan.
I thought you were going to say Barbie.
You'd watch Barbie with Ryan Gosling, okay?
Roshan's happening right now. Bait are getting away with it quite freely. Alpha, I'm sure they have somewhat of an idea this is happening, but just not really confident in their ability to be able to fight this one out. So now Aegis on Dendi, meaning, you know, on the Storm, having those 2 lives is going to be very, very impactful. It's an absolutely free reset in the middle of a team fight. 7k advantage for Bait, still standing. Mind you, they do have a Doom on their end of things, which is where a lot of the net worth advantage is coming from. But Doom's still a very potent hero right now, so that's not exactly a bad thing. Alpha still in no rush to try and force a fight. They are still taking their time. Allow their TB the time to really keep up in terms of that farm. But there is the smoke now from Bait. They've smoked up as 2. They'll have Dendi around the corner as well as on the Storm. He can just zip in whenever the hell he wants anyway. And it seems like they're going to find Bleskid on this pulse 3 Veno. Shackle not going to land on anything, but Stonebank, a very, very easy kill for himself. There's no way to stop him from doing that. And it's not like Bleskid's working towards anything like a halberd here against Stonebank, so chances are that's just going to keep happening.
Ah, very interesting. We are seeing Bleskid farm up for... Well, he had the Ags queued last time, which I felt was pretty dank. But he's going for the actual Sane build-up now of Ghost Scepter. Not as fun. Wanted to see the Venomancer Ags in the pro game, because the Venomancer Ags is so counterintuitive, because you have to die. Right? It's like one of the reasons why a lot of people argue against the Warlock Chaotic offering on death. Because you shouldn't be dead anyway. So you shouldn't invest in anything that comes from you losing. Right?
Stonebank. Oh, he got jumped there. Blast off is out from Braxy, but it's not doing quite enough yet. Lowdine finally going down, but it doesn't really mean too much unless you find some big cores. Doom is out onto the TB. Meanwhile, Stonebank is trying to outrun these zombies, but they are just chasing. He should be fine. Dendi zipping in after the TB. Funnick taking through all this damage, will go down, but they have found the TB as a trade. This ends up being a 2-for-1 in favor of Alpha in the end. But it's really not the worst situation. Like, you got the Terrorblade. It is still favorable for Alpha overall, I think, but considering the position Bait were trying to fight in, I think they might be okay with this.
Yeah, I think it's honestly fine. Like, you got Aegis usage out from Dendi. You managed to find the Terrorblade, which is really the one hero you want to shut down on Alpha anyway, in exchange for your Doom, but he sets up for the Terrorblade. So it's all dandy, good and dandy here for the side of Bait. Alpha, yeah, this game just doesn't simplify as the game goes on. Like, your Venomancer's impact will be mitigated. It does feel like this game starts to go more and more onto Steel and onto Argius to get something done with these cores. Like, an Ember dancing around is pretty damn big. Issue is it's not the freest Ember game. There's a decent amount of hold here. And you've always got the threat of Doom as well, which is not something you manage all too nicely here for Steel. It will smoke up once more in Bait, though.
Mid lane. Poor old Bleskid. Immediately bursted down here by Dendi. Keep in mind, Dendi has an arcane rune, so definitely wants to keep fighting if he can, but nobody left to go after. But yeah, this Veno's just a sitting duck. Every time they see him, it's the freest kill of their lives. They just take it every single time.
Yeah. It's very squishy. You haven't been able to really go for all in on stats. Even your aura play, it's not the scariest. I do like the One Ranger Ags coming out here. Like, attacking from Invis is one thing. Really, the 50% physical damage reduction is huge.
Braxy trying to get out. Frostbite gonna lock him down. He's actually still alive though, because Still's gonna jump back in, and now the blast off is there. So you lose Lowdine, but with the Doom out and committed on the Ember, maybe they could have kept going. Problem is the position isn't the best for Bait, so they will try to retreat and come back another day. It's kind of cut their losses with the 1-for-1 trade. I say losses, but they kind of came out on top anyway. That'll be about it. Again, very conservative gameplay from both sides. Neither one really going too ham.
Yeah, just you don't want to take massive risks in the best of one. It's very unforgiving if you make a play that doesn't work out. And we've seen that happen multiple times before. You could end up losing way more objectives than it's worth the trouble. Just play the farm game, play it safe. Get that build up you'd want here on bait. Maybe just wait out your next Doom timing here on Funnick, actually. That should be the one thing that will allow them to take more fights. You do get the free shard now from the Tormentor for Stominin. So he's got the recall. You can play all the way across the map now. Just get dragged in to these engagements. Again, allowing inside of bait to be a bit more efficient. Smoke out from Alpha. See if they find something.
We're going to run into Stonebank. That's a great target if they can get started on him. Shackle is there. Blessed Kid trying to move up. Has no way of locking anyone down, however. Lodine instead is going to be the one to get caught. They'll be more than happy to hand the CM over. As Lodine does tank the gank for the team, and that's not the target Alpha wanted. You know, if anything, they would have much preferred Stonebank, but with a Pulse 3 Veno, like, you just don't have any lockdown. No. Nobody else is doing it for him either. Unless Steel's around, you literally do not have a way of stopping somebody. It's pretty rough.
And that's why I was kind of expecting this Gleipnir, A2's Gleipnir build-up, just to have a little bit more AoE control, but the aura play not too bad, but again, the Venomancer is an aura carrier. Does feel like it's a little bit less forgiving. You can't be as clutch with these actives to come true. Full Hex up and running now for Dendi, so the game just got even harder. Just to zip in the Vortex to Hex. There's no escape coming through here for our Ember. It's going to be rough for Steel for a very long time, as long as Dendi gets the angles in. They'll smoke up with that item up.
We go zip in. Dendi is there. And we'll have the Underlord. Excuse me, the Undying. I just keep calling it Underlord today. Takaya is gone. I don't know what it is, John.
Well, he does. I don't know, Mike. He does. The Undying does not look like a giant devil demon slug thing with feet. Yeah. But I guess they're both dead. Well, no, not really. Underlord's not dead.
It's not spotted by Dendi. Very nice escape from Blessed Kid. Again, he has not had the most fun times, as he does pick up a Yule Scepter now on the Venom. So at least you have a way of kind of stopping the Wind Ranger in her tracks, you know, kind of get rid of that Wind Run. Actually have a bit of lockdown here as the Veno, a nice way of cancelling TPs or just catching somebody out. Ultimately, you're still in kind of dire straits here as the Yules can only do so much. Like, Dendi's got a full sight device up, so that's not really going to help too much against that. As Braxy has been spotted here by Stonebank hanging around the hot tub. He's going to get caught out, and with the focus fire, Dendi able to just take the kill himself. Again, with the draft that Alpha have, you just don't have the catch. They can so easily disengage, and like nothing can be done about it.
It's so funny because this is what we saw from Sand King Gómez in our first game, right? Like, they had no catch as well. Alpha get themselves in this situation now as well. And it just doesn't feel like you're going to find some straightforward solutions here from Alpha to help them gain some control back. Again, I'm a little bit curious with this build-up here from Blessed Kid. Like, he's just going straight for Ag still.
Yeah.
I get why, because, I mean, if you're dying anyway, you might say, well, have some utility. It's still, you know, I don't know. Like, I've had a lot of people tell me, stop going for things which require you to die, because you shouldn't be dying. So, we'll see.
I think the thing is, he is going to die no matter what, so... Like, I don't think he's just trying to get the value while he can. I don't blame him.
Has he considered not dying?
Yeah, I mean, that's a serious consideration that he probably should have. It's proven to be quite challenging this game, but I think he should think about it.
Yeah, could be worthwhile.
Alpha, feel like it's worthwhile to fight this for this Roshan. They're going to move in. Still, does get a nice chains off onto Dendi, but nobody else is there to follow up with it. That's kind of the issue that we've seen all game with Alpha, is like, even if they can catch somebody, nobody else is willing to jump in. You just don't have enough lockdown to deal with the Storm this game. That's about it. They just back off again. Like, Roshan's still not up. In fact, I say that it is now. Smoke is there. Bait, they're going to wrap around the long way through the bottom lane, and oh, they could find the TB. Argus going to retreat at the right timing. Bait is still... This is the maneuver that worked against Bait yesterday, by the way. It's how they lost game 3 yesterday, as they do make the jump in on Braxy. He's okay. Stonebank has found the Ember Spirit, though. That means Steel is going to drop. Argus trying to fight, does at least find Lowdine. But now the chase is on for the TB. Stonebank, don't give me PTSD from last night, sir. He is dropping very, very low here, Stonebank, but is able to wind run out just in the nick of time. And Argus is the one in trouble. Argus is going to drop. TB is down. Blessed Kid also being targeted. So is Braxy. No real way to escape. The Funnick about to drop, but is able to tank through the damage output that was incoming. And Alpha basically get wiped. The only survivor is Blessed Kid on the Venom. But Roshan's completely free for them now.
You just kind of gun for it if they want to here. On the side of Bait, shouldn't take too long. As long as you can get the focus fire off. Let's see. Alpha backs against the wall now. This was their game to look for that 2-0 in our best of 3 ties. Just be secure in moving in, or, you know, staying in Div 1. Now, yeah, if you lose here, you're not completely, well, you're not completely out. It will take Bait also winning the next series to break us up in the ties. You never know, but that does put your destiny out of your hands on Alpha. Again, just have to find these openings somehow. Bait, they get everything out. They back off. Again, they play a clean game. No overextensions, nothing too crazy. Just stabilize lane, stabilize farm. Take fights when it looks like you'll win. Back off if you're not.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
The basics, the good stuff.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
$17k advantage now for Bait. Like, it's another huge lead. This time, though, Bait in favor. With the Aghanim Scepter now up on Dendi, it's just so much control that's offered here for Bait. Seeing how impactful this Ags can be. 2 like the blue hole, I believe, is what Snare called it in one of the Chinese games. Blue hole is coming as an arcane rune now going to spawn up here for Dendi as well. Just the perfect rune that he could ask for. Things get even worse here for Alpha for the next fight. That is we'll see what they do to try and combat this. Like, at the very least for now, they are split pushing. They are very split up. They're not looking for a big team fight. And that's fair enough. There is going to be a smoke, though, from Bait as they head into the mid lane. They know somebody's going to be around to defend this tier 2 tower, so they're going to hang around there and see if they can pick somebody off. Mind you, Stonebank is not around. He's actually chasing down Braxy at the moment, but barely misses out, as Braxy does TP at the right time. So they know the Wind Ranger's not around here if they want to try and force the fight. The Ember has been caught, but still going to be able to BKB up, as now the Doom does come out onto Steel. Stonebank will chase him down. Still trying to run, but can't do it. The Ember Spirit is gone without buyback. So Alpha are desperately trying to find a way to initiate this team fight, but they don't have any lockdown. Blastoff was already committed as well. That's basically their last stun. So they have no way of keeping up with Bait.
Oh.
It's kind of the thing, like, you have this ultra farm TB, but if you can't stand there and just hit people, it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't. Dota is not a game where every man is an island. You have to connect with your team. There's only so much the Terrorblade can do here with his lack of control on Alpha's side. Bait, again, not taking too many risks. Just play poke in and out. They'll shove in mid just a little bit with the double siege creeps. They even pop the focus fire, forcing out the fortification. It's going to be a little bit rough for Alpha if things start to fall south from here now. And for bait, it's just been, again, steady, clean, not too much risk.
There goes Argus. Dendi just taking him out along with Funnick. Doom is now back up and available as well, so they can just keep running at them if they really want to. Mid lane. Nice vortex from Dendi, finding 2 targets. I mean, he is out of mana. But he can afford to die, like he's got the Aegis up. He'll just stand his ground, focus down the tombstone. Vortex out again. Now Storminen is around to hand over the Chakra Magic when he does need it. Bleskid, of course, is the one to get caught. Beto is going to drop. However, even Takaya barely getting caught by Stonebank. Almost had the TP away, but not quite. They are just stomping this game against Alpha, but not looking to go high ground yet. Again, they are taking their time with this one.
Yeah, not in a rush. They just understand that the last time we saw Bait rush a bit, you know, up against Vault, it kind of felt awkward. So it looks like they have learned their lesson here on Bait. Just disciplined, no risks. Play the farm game, play your advantage, and try to grow that advantage further. Side of Alpha. Yeah, this game just feels like it's so much on just your mid and safe lane that it's not a comfy spot to be in. You can chase. Not gonna be able to catch out our Ember, so we're just back to it.
There goes the mid rat. Basically freely taken here by Bait. Bottom lane, Dendi. Taking a bit of damage, still has the Aegis up, and it's about to expire anyway, so he's about to get a free reset for himself. A warming blink board up on Funnick.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Stonebank gonna move in. Has found Braxy pretty easily. Techi's just deleted here. Stonebank proving to be way too farmed up now. Hitting for about 350 per right click. So, you know, the focus fires are a pretty quick way of going back to the grave. And I think Bait, they might just take the time to take the Radiant Tormentor. Like, why not just secure those objectives? No need to rush. Get bigger and bigger. If anyone needs a shard, that is. And I think the only one that does need a shard is either Lodine or Dendi now, so... Not the best shards, but you may as well.
You might as well just take that resource away from the side of Alpha again. Choke them out as much as possible. A little room they get out. They manage to push a little bit. We'll get to that Tormentor. Pop every spell, but it should be a nice freebie to come out, and that is your CM shard as well. Some more utility in trying to walk around with that freezing field at the least. Side of Bait. And again, they're in a commanding position. They're just playing to not give an opportunity to lose, just farming up their advantage further and further away. And Alpha, I mean, it's at this point where you can frankly say that the Venomancer just hasn't been a hero for at least 10 minutes, feels like, maybe even more. You're just not... It almost goes down to the point where it almost feels like a 4v5. Of course, it's not quite that. You know, there's still magic damage to play with, but it's not particularly amazing, these drawn-out fights.
No, they aren't.
Stupendous.
31k advantage now. Yeah, I mean, it's starting to feel like there's no real way for Bait to lose this game, but yeah, I think they're being ultra cautious as well because they had that series of events yesterday in their best of 3 series that cost them that guaranteed spot in Div 1. So maybe just making sure that they don't throw the games like they did yesterday, because they were throws with the way they panned out. Like, it was certainly their games to lose. So Stonebank's going to have a run around trying to look for a pick-off for himself, but not quite able to find anything. I don't know if it's really worth waiting for next Roshan for Bait. Like, we're going to find out in 25 seconds when the respawn is going to happen. It seems like maybe that is going to be the game plan, though. Like, they might just say, guys, screw it. Like, just take the Aegis first. Guarantee us a safe high ground attempt. You know, and it could be an early timer, or it could be a really late timer for all we know. I think yesterday they were in prime position for a Roshan, but it was a 2-minute 45-second timer, which really ended up working against them, sadly. Let's see if they have it again. 2 minutes 45 seconds. So another long timer for Roshan.
It just buys time for both sides to again try to find something on the map. A little bit easier for bait. Dandy.
Has it been? He's found himself the techies. Braxy dropping quite low, but it is going to be okay to walk out as instead they take down Tokaya. The Undying now is gone. Bait retreating though as Dendi is a little bit too low on mana. Stonebank doing the same. Argus has also used his metamorphosis, so now they can just freely walk away, knowing that is going to be down for over 2 minutes. And it seems like immediately Alpha are trying to rush towards the Roshan pit. See if they can find themselves a lucky Roshan, but it is not going to be there anyway. Dendi, Vortex is out. Takai is forced to buy back here. Dendi could just retreat if he really wants, but the chains are out from Still to lock him down a little bit longer. It's just not going to make the difference, though. The Lotus Orb was there from Stonebank. Stonebank now grouping up with his team. Going to get a Gleipnir off onto the TB. Not able to follow up with a nice Shackles, and that's going to be it. They just get out of there. Again, the Metamorphosis is down for basically 2 minutes. So they will have an opportunity to force Roshan while meta is not available.
They've gotten simpler time to contest that, so keen to see how long they'll wait. If they'll wait the full minute until the respawn's up, it does feel like you can just kind of take control from this area of the map. Anyway, Alpha for their part, I mean, I think we've talked about this concept before a couple times where it doesn't feel like you're playing to win in as much as you're playing to not lose. And that's definitely the vibe I'm getting from Alpha just right now. Like, if they're not able to take initiative, they're not able to dictate these fights on their own. Once that fell apart, then they just default to farm, which, again, with a Venomancer draft, you don't really want to just sit back and farm here.
They are just simply waiting for Roshan now.
Tower is under attack.
20 seconds away. Still a little low dying just in the pit by himself, and it's kind of be the observer ward for the team. That's absolutely fine. He's playing CM after all. He may as well, you know, just be an obs ward. Same thing. Well, main group up now for Alpha. Meta is up in 20. Roshan now officially up, but they aren't in position to take it straight away. Alpha are going to have their chance to fight this one out. They are getting started now. It's going to be slow without the focus fire out, and Stonebank is not committing yet. Maybe just saving for the team fight. Alpha are around the pit now. They are lacking their Venomancer though. He is not here to fight. So they are going to try and do this 4v5, it seems, as Dendi is going to jump in with a 2-man Vortex out into the Gleipnir of Stonebank, locking them down for quite a while as they have taken down Braxy. In comes Blisker to try and help out, but it's not looking like a good team fight. Finally going down, but he got the Doom off onto the TB, who's trying to man up. Dendi jumps back in. The TB can't do it. Argus is going to drop. No buyback available. Bleskid will also go down. Still to follow. The only survivor is Takaya. He will be able to TP out in the nick of time, but Roshan's freely going to go the way of bait now. And after that, of course, they can try for the reset into the high ground attempt.
Yeah. No need to hold back with this big tool now on hand here from the side. Bait, so we've got the security, the secondary life, we've got the cheese ready to go. Should just be able to find something now. And just shrink the map further. You've got the double doom ready to go as well on Funnick. So a little bit more impact coming out there. Just take an objective. That's all we need to see from Gate. Yeah, granted, again, their lineup does scale pretty well. So you might not have to even overcommit, knowing that down the line you'll just be unstoppable here, but they do at least focus fire at tier 3.
They do. Bottom rack's going to go down fairly quickly.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Radiant's middle
Only one lane of barracks left. Looks like they're going to go right for it as well. Stone Bank. It started. There's going to be a bit of a jump in, but Dendi is out again with the AoE Vortex and Funnick now with the AoE Doom locking them down. This is not the fight that Alpha needed. They are down again. I think it might be about that time to make a GG call because I don't see them being able to fight without their Terror Blade up. He is the only saving grace right now for Alpha, as they are just losing everybody. Only the Ember left. And GG is called. So Bait not allowing Alpha that security
barracks are under attack.
of the Div 1 slot. Now Bait are in the driver's seat. And they have a matchup against SKG if they can beat SKG.